Is this what we call playing in the sandbox, honey?
Yeah. Big kid sandbox. Well, that really speeds things up, doesn't it?
It sure does.
Oh, it's too big of a marker. You see the seeds in there? Yeah. Okay. Might fill this whole thing full of carrots yet.
Well, that's awesome, because I didn't think we had that many. If we were doing them by hand, you wouldn't have that many.
No, you usually put them in too deep or too thick.
Too thick.
Good afternoon. We are at her again. Got lots cleared up, and there's a lot of dead trees around here. So we got a brush pile going. That's actually the second brush pile. Well, probably the third. Second one today, anyway. You can see behind me, there's a bunch of dead ones. We will cut them all out eventually too, for firewood. Right now we're just focused on where the house is going and the shop's going and getting that cleared up. We also started a fire here, slowly but surely burn it, trying to keep it a small fire and just burn up the brush to get rid of it. We use the ashes in the garden likely. You can see behind me, lots more dead trees. We'll cut them all up for firewood as well. Eventually. Priority number one is getting the site ready for the house. Plenty warm, even warmer by the fire. So we've got quite a bit done here. Just walk you over. Kids and I are hard at her. Well, the whole family was hard at her, but Anissa and Cora just went to town to get a few things. So this cedar tree we'd like to keep. It should be outside the shop. Shop will be on this side, and we'd be running. There's a bit of a, looks like a lane going up. Whoops, going, I can figure out how to point my finger that way, up the hill. I want to keep that one, so we'll maintain kind of a lane in front of these trees all the way up where the tractor is. And then the actual laneway for the house is going to be up through here. So any of you that's seen our live where we showed the house plans, the front door is going to be on that side. And so when you roll through these trees here, you're going to come up to the front door. And then you can also get in my shop over here, or you could drive all the way up over there. So got all this cleared out now. Got to get rid of the stumps yet, but there's getting to be enough room. We got to finish clearing all this brush out of here yet. So we got room for the porch and stuff. Some raspberry cane and stuff like that. And then there's a few more dead trees. We dropped most of them. There's a couple more there yet that we'll pull out. They're not in the way for the build, but once the house is, it's just whatever. It's easier to drop them now than to worry about hitting the house with them later. And they're dead anyway, so, or mostly dead. So we'll cut them up yet. Put them all in the firewood pile. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, it's right here. That's a firewood pile we've got going. Quite a bit there now. We'll lug the splitter up there later and the kids can go nuts. Splitting that all up, getting ready for winter. There's still 2 dead cedars laying on the ground right there, and there's another one behind the tractor. I think I'm going to keep that probably. I think we'll cut all the branches off, but cedars take a long time to get that big, so we'll probably keep it and use it for something, whether it's a fence post or a rail or something. I'm not sure yet. And then there's a few dead trees on that side as well. We'll probably drop them. There's 3 there. We'll drop them yet. Then we're pretty well ready to start digging here. I'm hoping to have an excavator here this week yet. Otherwise it'll be next week. Gonna rent one. They're gonna drop it off, so it's a matter of availability, I guess. And then we'll get started at it. I don't foresee it being terribly deep on the house portion. Yeah, the kids got a bit of a fort halfway up the hill, a little farther down, and the topsoil is like, I don't know, 2-3 inches, and then it's solid rock. Over here there's more dirt on top of the rock, but I'm hoping that, well, it would be ideal anyway if it was kind of flat and we could just dig it back, because then I can set my posts right on that. I don't have to pour any concrete. I'll use it as a foundation and just go. And most of the material up here on the ridge is actually gravel. I worked quite a bit on the laneway yesterday, scooping off the high spots, dumping it in the low spots, and it's like pit run, a mixture between pit run and gravel. If you're familiar with pit run, like they're bigger chunks, you know, size of my fist or a little bit bigger yet, and also smaller. It's just kind of whatever you get out of the pit. And we also have a spot where there's much finer gravel, where they're, you know, I don't know, maybe the end of my thumb type rocks, which is more usual for your laneway. So we'll probably put some of that on just to smooth it out and fish some of the bigger rocks out of the laneway so we can get in nice and easy with the van. But she's shaping together. The shop, I was just saying to Anissa this morning, you know what, we could just leave the way it is. Who cares? Just leave the grass in there. We can always dig it out later. Just get the posts in the ground and get the house done. And then the shop's going to be big wide open inside anyway. We can get in there later on with an excavator and do a bunch of digging. It wouldn't be a huge excavator, but a little one. But we'll see how it goes. If I got lots of time, I might strip some of the tops off. It'd be nice to get the tree stumps out at least, dig them out, and then smooth it off somewhat. But it's coming together. It's hot, sweaty work, but it's nice. We can do it together as a family. Everybody's contributing. Yeah, It's a good feeling. And the kids are enjoying it too. Wes was just telling me too, it's kind of fun doing firewood. He prefers picking up the big logs for the firewood as opposed to the branches. But yeah, we got to do both, I guess, to get it all done. I probably prefer that too. All these branches it's tiresome dragging them all over. We're getting there. I still got lots of this. The hawthorns are actually the worst. These, if you're not familiar with a hawthorn, they got these brutal needles on them. Anyway, they're wicked needles. And that's a dead one. They're not as bad. The live ones are worse because they're not as brittle. When you get them in your fingers and they start to fester, they really hurt. Supposed to have good fruit on them though, so that would be kind of handy, I guess, to eat. They're a delicacy here on the island, or whatever you want to call that. So, got to get the rest of this cleared yet. There's loads of raspberry. That bush there will actually be off the side of the deck, so try to leave it as untouched as possible, but I do want to drop these dead trees out, and then we'll try to leave that. Hopefully it'll come back again. So this will be off the front porch, off the living room, and the office side of the house. We'll have these nice trees here on that side, and then this raspberry bush. And then once we clear these dead ones out, it'll open it up a lot more visually to see the field. There's a few dead ones over there as well. I think I counted 6 of them. Well, they're not totally dead, but they don't look that healthy. There's 6 of them over there that we're going to clear out as well. And that leaves the deciduous trees and a few smaller pine trees and such. But it'll give us a lot better sight to the south. And also more sun. That's kind of what we want too, eh? On the south side of the house, we want to get more sunshine. Being off grid, not running light bulbs like you normally would per se. We will have some, but you know, ideally if we can get away with sunlight. That's why we have so many windows on the east, south, and west of our house to maximize that sun exposure. And it's one great big open room pretty well, so benefit from that. Now, any of the live trees that we got, I've been throwing them over here, all the smaller stuff. And the goats and the cow are in here. You see the goats are all laying here. I don't know where Buttercup, I think that might be her right there. Yeah, she's laying up over there. Anyway, they've been just devouring them. So there's lots and lots of sticks in here now that have no leaves. We'll fish them back out. I thought, whatever, if they want to eat them, they like eating them leaves. So they seem content now anyway. We fed them a whole pile and they're all kind of laying here sleeping now. So getting their bellies full. So anyway, that's what we're up to.
Okay, so these are sand cranes, and the baby is in the bush right beside her van, and she's trying to like distract us maybe.
She's trying to look hurt.
So that we will leave the baby alone. They're such beautiful creatures.
Beautiful, eh? Beautiful creatures.
Mm-hmm.